Welcome to the Law of Attraction in Action. Thank you so much for joining me on my podcast. My name is Michelle Joy, and I am your host. On these solo versions, I'll be doing a video as well, so you can watch me on YouTube, and I will be sharing the exact same thing, but in video, you can see some of the things I'll be showing you. So thank you again for joining me. So in today's version, I want to share with you about letting go, because I think a lot of people come into the law of attraction have a really hard time letting go of the how, or letting go of control and saying, okay, universe, you can take over, which is what we should be doing. I actually really believe that everything that I've done in my life, every success in my life has been because I did not try to figure it out. I just was waiting for divine inspiration. I let go, I set intentions, and lo and behold, the right situations came to me. So just to give you an example of how miraculous this world is, and I'm not sure if any of you heard my story about how I ended up starting teaching the law of attraction, but about 12 years ago, I became a certified soul coach. And what that does is I help people connect with who they really are, just kind of getting down to their truth. And it was such an amazing experience. And after my training, like, I have to get this word out there. So I signed up for all these meetup groups, but I never went to one. And so one day I got an email, and the email said, does someone want to take over this meetup group? It's an established meetup group called the Law of Attraction for Happiness. And I immediately said yes. That was that inspiration, that divine said, just do it, Michelle. And so I did. And it ended up becoming such an amazing, life-changing thing for me. It made me realize I love to speak, I love to teach, I absolutely love law of attraction. And so the message today, and what I want you all to know, is you don't have to go looking for it. You don't have to figure out the how. In fact, that is the number one thing the law of attraction teaches you, is when we try to figure out the how, we get in the way because our egos tend to go, okay, how am I going to do this? What is the right step? And then we get overwhelmed because, trying to figure out how to get from A to Z, or even A to B, sometimes is hard, right? So our egos will try and trick us all the time and say, you got to work harder. You got to, look at all the pros and cons. You got to think about it. You got to do research. And then there's a lot of people who are like that. And, in many ways I admire you, because I'm not a detailed person. So I don't do research. I just do it. I'm a full-on action girl. And, doing this podcast was another inspired action. It was like, I just know I wanted to get my message out. So I just kept getting out there, and I just said, how can I help more people? Like, it was setting an intention. I know I want to help more people. And then I had this idea, like someone on Facebook said, oh, I'm doing a podcast. And then she's someone I knew. I said, well, how did you do it? And she showed me, super easy. So I said, well, I guess I'll do it too. But you see, the message here is, we don't need to know how to do it, because the answers will come to us. This is the law of attraction, and why I love it and why I teach it, and why you're all listening here, because I know you believe this if you're listening. And if you don't believe it and you're listening because you want to believe it, then you're still in the right place, because it truly is something that it's like standing on your head. And I know I've said this in other podcasts, but it literally is standing on your head, because it's so opposite of what we think. So today I want to actually show you some ideas on how to let go. I've done many meetups of this exact thing because people have the hardest time. I myself too, letting go, even though I talk about all these great things that have happened to me, and those great things that have happened to me have happened because I let go. But there's still my ego that gets involved a lot of the times, and I have to say, like, whoa, well, you're not helping me right now. So I have to really just let it go. So what I want to share with you on today's podcast and video, if you're watching me on video, is how to have some tools to get your ego entertained. So this is what I tell people. Our egos like to do something. This is a trickery thing where we say, okay, I'm going to let go. I'm going to let the divine bring to me all that I'm wanting, because I know it's going to do a better job than I can do. And that is the truth. But my ego won't come down, and it's got something to do. So would you please give it something to do? So that's what I'm going to give you today on this podcast, is to show you how there's things you can do to calm your ego down. So one of those things is to do a vision board. I know a lot of people have done vision boards, or if you haven't, check out my podcast. I think it's called Belief Boards. It was one of my third podcast that I did. But vision boards are so amazing because many reasons. So one, gives your ego something to do, right? You sit there and go like, I need something to do. And you decide to just cut pieces of pictures from magazines and you put it on a board. And so your ego is super happy because it says, oh, this is my cat. I have my cat on my lap. You're watching the video. But if you do the vision board, it gives you something to do. And then you have this amazing board that says, this is what I want. You tell the universe, this is what I want. I'm setting the intention. This is what I want. And it gets kind of, just feel excited about it. You go, I'm like putting my order out to the universe. Say, here you go. This is what I want. And so we put it on the board and then you let it go. So that's one thing to do, because I've had many times and many people who've had miraculous things happen with their vision boards. Again, go back to that podcast about belief boards. She calls them belief boards because they're more just like, I believe this is all happening. So I love that idea. But my vision board here, and if you're watching the video, you can see my vision board, but I look at this every day. I meditate every day. And then after I meditate, I look at this. And this is about how I can help others and how I can make a difference in people's lives. It's all the hands and truly, and make money, right? We all want to manifest money. Maybe not all, but I think it's important to have money. But the vision board, it makes me feel good every time I see it. And it doesn't mean like when I stare at it, I go, okay, well, how am I going to do that? I better figure this out. No, it's the exact opposite. It reminds me that there are divine helpers. There are things happening in the universe. My mind shift is changing to where I'm attracting more of this because I look at this board and I know it's true. But my ego had something to do. Isn't that great? It just said, okay, I've got something to do. I'm going to do the vision board. Thank you. In fact, I shared this story before, but I did a vision board on my house. And about 4 years after my divorce, I was renting a house. I'm like, I don't want to own a house again. It's just too much work. My ex-husband and I had like fixer-uppers all these years, and I didn't want to deal with another house. But then I realized I'm throwing my money away. So maybe I should get a house. So like literally one day I go, I want to buy a house. So that day I got my vision board made and I put good music on and I found these cute magazines and I just daydreamed. Like just felt so good to do this vision board. It was a fun activity for me. And so that was day one. And I just kind of let it go. I mentioned to my meetup group because I decided to take a little break to look for a house and kind of get my bearings. And one woman said, well, do you need a mortgage broker? And I, yes. So she showed up. I got a mortgage broker. And at the time, I didn't think I had money to buy a house. I had no money saved. I had credit card debt. So I didn't think it was even possible. I thought, well, I'll need a year to save up. It was just more down the line. Like really, I was kind of disconnected from this process. And she did the numbers. She says, no, Michelle, your credit's good. Your income's good. You could totally get this much of a house. I'm like, great. Again, didn't put too much into it. And then I was out with a friend in a different neighborhood I've never been to in Portland. And I thought, gosh, that's really pretty here. Let me look on Zillow, see if I can see what houses are here. And so when I looked on the app, I found this beautiful, cute, quaint little cottage. And I said, oh my gosh, this house is so cute. I got to check it out. And I was like literally like half a mile away. So I drove over there, checked it out. And I'm like, this house was perfect. And so I ended up putting in an offer. And within 2 weeks, I had my house. Now, the best part about this is I let it go. I did that vision board and I let it go. And so actually it was my mortgage broker who was a meetup member. So she believed law of attraction. She told me, she says, Michelle, look at your board. It looks just like your house. And sure enough, on my board, I had 2 sheds. My house comes with a really cute shed. And it also, the upstairs room is identical to a picture in the vision board. It was just amazing. So, I'm not the only one who has these stories. Lots and lots of people have these stories. So I just want to let you know, when your ego needs something to do, make a vision board. I actually did a vision board meetup at the start of the year, and I had like 25 people there. It was awesome. And the room was packed and everyone was feeling joy, and heard lots of stories that day of where their vision board manifested amazing things. So it's an amazing process, but the big lesson here I'm teaching today is how to let go. Because when you have something you want, and you're like, how do I do it? You just put it on the board and you say, oh, there you go. My ego did something. The ego's happy. Check. I can let it go, check, because I know this stuff is magical, check. And then lo and behold, these things do show up. So that's a big one. And another one I want to share with you today is called a miracle box or a God box, however you want to call it. It was a God box. And so what this is a box that you, same thing, it's kind of a vision board, but it's more of in a box form. So you put magazine pictures on it or phrases on it or something that really kind of raises your energy, makes you feel good. And so on that box, you actually put inside the box, oh, let me move my cat. Inside the box you put, and I'm going to show people who are watching the video, but here's my little box, and it's just a round box. It could be a shoe box, any box you want. This happened to be a really cool round box, but you just put all the things that kind of bring you joy on it. I've got words, I've got pictures, and on the inside is what's the most important part. On the inside, you put all that is in this box is so. So the cool thing about the miracle box, it's like a vision board, but then you put things that you want inside of it. So say you want to manifest, $1 million, or you want to manifest this perfect job that you've been applying for, or just something that you want to bring into it, like maybe your soulmate. I put like stuff in there like flowers or even like a big ass bling ring, just more as a joke. But I thought, well, I want to get married someday. Of course, that's in my box. So I put all these little things, and then again, the nice things is it helps you let it go. So I'm going to share a little story about that because this is really powerful. I had a patient once, and many of you know I was a nurse for 15 years before I did this full time. And I had a patient who was in her 20s and she had diabetes, and as a result, she had a big wound on her bottom that wasn't healing. And people with diabetes have a hard time with wound healing. So she's in my hospital for a long time. We could not get her wound to heal. She was a single mom. She wasn't seeing her kids. Her kids were young, and she really struggled, and she just kind of shut down. And so one day I taught her about the miracle box, or what she called it was a God box. That really resonated with her. So she really perked up. She got excited. She did this box. She decorated. She did, crayons and colored it, and it really gave her something to do while she's in the hospital as well. But the great thing is inside the box, she put intentions of what she wanted. She's like, I will be out of the hospital by such and such date. I will, be able to be with my boys again. I will be able to eat and hold things down, because she had a lot of problems with nutrition. And so all of these things she put in her box. And the cute thing is like every time a doctor or anybody come to visit, she goes, look at my God box. She was so excited about her God box. It meant so much to her. And the cool part about it, guys, is she started to finally get better. She started to eat. She was able to keep things down. Her wound started healing, and she was finally discharged. And we could not get that woman discharged. She was finally discharged a week later. So these miracle boxes, or God boxes, or whatever you call them, again, if you're watching the video, I'm holding it up now. These things are amazing, and I've made them in my group, but you can make them at home. They're super easy. But it gives you the ability to let go. You set your intention, you let it go. So it's a really, really great thing. So last thing, I just want to talk about writing things down, writing down intentions, just writing down what you're wanting. Because again, we get these ideas, and then they get swirling in our heads, and then we're like, how. But if you sit there and say, okay, I'm going to have a special place, like a journal, something that's dedicated to my life, what my intentions are, like maybe for 2019, or what my intentions are for the next 5 years or 10 years. And intentions are very different from goals, guys. I really want to emphasize that, because this is not you writing it down. Okay, now I got to figure out how to do that. No, this is you putting out the request to the universe. In fact, I wrote a little analogy about this in my book, and someone pointed out to me recently how helpful that was, so I'll share it here. But it's, imagine yourself at a restaurant and you're ordering your food. You put in your order, and then you sit with your friends and you just enjoy the conversation, and you trust and you know that food will come and what you ordered. Well, but life is the same thing. You put your request in and you just let it go. You don't go to the waiter, go to the kitchen right after your order, say, where is my meal? We don't do that. So why would we do that with the universe? So you put your order in and you just trust that in divine timing it will come to you. And there's nothing more relaxing and calming to know that it will come. And again, there's times when I was single and I thought, okay, I'm being patient here, God, but why isn't he coming? You know, this 6.5 years, I was getting a little tired of waiting. And I realized that when I did let go, when I just said, okay, I believe you, I trust you, I know in my heart of hearts that he is coming. I'm going to let it go and just know it's in divine timing. But in the meantime, I'm going to feel great. I'm going to let it go. And I'm just going to live my life as this great life that I have. And sure enough, he showed up right after. So you'll hear story after story about this, like, wow, it just showed up when I let it go. Or, you know, people always say parking spaces or things come to them easily because they're not as attached to it. But when you're attached to something you really, really want, it's harder to let go, and it's harder to not feel like you got to figure out the how. Like, you know, with dating, like, well, I better get out the online dating in my profile. And even though it feels icky, you do it anyway. Can anyone relate? So what my goal is with this podcast and the video, I want to share with you how important it is to let go, how you can do things to keep your ego occupied so you can let it go. And then when you let it go, the world, the universe will conspire to bring it to you. So I really hope this helps you. I hope you have some, you know, excitement around letting go. If you have any questions about this, or you're saying, Michelle, I still don't get this letting go part, please reach out to me at my website. Just go to my website and just reach out. I've got a contact button on my website. It's michelle-joy.com. That's MICHELE-JOY.com. So I do believe that all of us have all these things waiting for us to manifest. It's like we have this whole escrow of things. You're like, come on, just come with me. We're here for you. Just let go and let it in. But we usually don't let it in. And so my goal is to help people decrease that resistance so we can let it in. And when you decrease your resistance, it's just amazing. It's amazing what comes to you. So anyway, I hope this helps. Again, reach out to me if you have, you know, want to know more about my coaching or want to know more about law of attraction, even just to shoot me a question. I mean, I do free consultations. I'm super happy to talk to you. I also want to point out that I am doing an upcoming Manifest Your Soulmate course. Originally, I was going to do a group coaching and just do like 10 people and keep it real intimate, but I decided to lower the price and raise the amount of people who can come, because I decided that where I'm going in my business and my programs, I'm going to go in a different direction. So I will not be teaching this one again. And I want to be able to get as many people in to this Manifest Your Soulmate. So it used to be $275 for the course. Now it's only $75. You'll get the videos. You can keep it, rewatch it over and over again. There'll be four trainings in 4 weeks. So it'll still be the month of February, and I will send them directly to you and you can watch them anytime. But I have so much information in me about how to manifest soulmate. I've taught this course many times. I just decided I'm going to take a different direction in my coaching and my business, more in a miracle mindset version. So I'll still be teaching, of course, and do more courses in the future. But this Manifest Your Soulmate course, this will be my last one. So do not wait. And again, the information's on my website. And my cart will close at midnight on January 31st, because it starts February 1st. So don't wait. Anyway, thank you again for listening. And I also, one last shout out is thank you. I have reached 10,000 listens, actually over. This weekend went to 10,000, and nothing makes me happier than knowing that this message is getting out, that people are listening. And I hope this means this is helping you. I hope this is making your life better. Again, every person I talk to, when we talk about law of attraction, we get so excited, like our energy just skyrockets. You can probably hear that on the interviews that I do, but I want you all to have that energy too, and to be able to live a life that's miraculous. Because again, my affirmation every day is I expect miracles every day, because I do. And being here with you guys and doing all that I'm doing, often it's like a miracle that I'm here. So it's so cool. And it feels so great that I'm reaching so many people. So if you like this podcast, you like this video, please please share, please subscribe, whatever outlet you're on. Let me know this is working for you. Give me your support, because the more we support this, the higher we get ranked, the more people hear it, and the more we change the world. And that is my mission, is to help everybody realize how powerful and beautiful they are. So Thank you again for listening, and have a wonderful day and happy manifesting.